What you know is relevant, but can the relevance ever end? What you don't know is making you poor. And sometimes what you need to know has already been known. And if you don't find out these timeless truths that do not expire, your own life might just expire. Because there's no time, and before you know it, life has passed you by. If you don't want to expire by not knowing the truths that never expire, then this video is a must watch for you.
My acechina. I'm an expert global business solutions expert and your real estate success strategist known as the mayor of house.
So welcome to the recap of the live stream, where every week on Sundays by 6 p.m. GMT +1, we do a live stream and take on a topic that has to do with life, business, money, economy, or anything you choose. And for 1 hour every Sunday, I take 30 minutes to address the topic and 30 minutes to answer any questions, whether related to the topic or any other questions you would have loved to ask me in the comments below. And after that, I'll ask a question, and the 10 fastest fingers to answer that question correctly get to win 30,000 naira, because we are 30,000 subscribers on this channel. And by the time we get to 40,000 subscribers, you get to win 40,000 naira for 10 people every Sunday, because in this channel we are building the most educative and the most generous YouTube channel in Africa, where we want you to learn and earn. But because of how rowdy the live session is, after every Sunday we decide to recap the same topic, where we break it down in a cool, calm and calculated environment to allow those that want to dig deep into the topic to learn better. And our last topic on the live was how ancient philosophy applies to modern success. Most people think that ancient philosophy is ancient, but after this video you're going to know that ancient philosophy is still relevant. And that's why in this teaching I'll be talking a lot more about the Bible, because one of the oldest, most contemporary and ever recent books is the Bible. So if you are not a Bible believing person, please, for purposes of learning, do not lock your hearts, just learn from ancient philosophy. So what is philosophy? If you go to the dictionary, you're going to see a lot of meaning that will tell you the study of fundamental nature of knowledge and reality and existence, especially when considered as an academic discipline. But the one I love most is a particular system of philosophical thoughts. Any philosophy that does not involve the mind or thought is no philosophy. Another definition will say the study of theoretical basis of a particular branch of knowledge or experience, the philosophy of science. And similar words are thinking. Remember I told you, any word that does not involve thinking is not philosophy. Reasoning, thought, wisdom, knowledge. A theory or attitude that acts as a guiding principle for behavior. So because behavior is crafted through thought, so you can just say guiding principle for behavior and thinking pattern. And one of the best definitions of philosophy came from a philosopher himself, an ancient philosopher called Plato. And Plato puts it this way: he says, philosophy is a way to raise oneself from the life of the mind to understand eternal truth, timeless truth, believing that the purpose of a philosopher is to align their actions with these ultimate forms of reality. From Plato's definition of philosophy, there are key 4 words that every philosophy must involve. Number 1 is the mind. Number 2 is timeless truth. Any philosophy that does not have a truth that is the truth yesterday, the truth today, and the truth forever is a faulty philosophy. And then it must involve alignment, and it must involve action. So when your action or your mind aligns with your action and timeless truth, you have a viable philosophy. So you can just define philosophy as the alignment of our mind and actions with the truth. So what is success If you go to the dictionary or Google, it will tell you that the accomplishment of a goal or an aim is success. And similar words are so plenty. Favorable outcome, successfulness, favorable result, successful outcome, positive result, victory. And some people associate success with fame, wealth, or social status, prosperity, a person or thing that achieves their desired aims or attain fame, wealth. All that has to do with success. And similar words are triumph, victory, so many words. Even wow, even superstars, somebody, a luminary, a celebrity, a big shot, a big fish. All that you find in the dictionary. And the opposite is failure, flop, disaster, or a nobody. And another archaic definition will tell you the good or bad outcome of an undertaking. But of all the definitions of success ever written, one of the best is from a philosopher and an author and a modern philosopher or thinking shaper called L. Nightingale. And he defines success as the progressive realization of a worthwhile goal or dream. So philosophy and success are intertwined so much that if you don't have the right philosophy, you won't have the right success. And one of the persons that puts philosophy in the science of success, especially modern success, that has been the modern father of modern success philosophy, is Jim Rohn. He said your personal philosophy is the greatest determining factor in how your life works out. So to rephrase, your personal philosophy is the greatest determining factor for your success or failure. So your mind plus truths plus actions equals to success. And those truths must be the right truths. Those actions must be the right actions. And those mindsets must be the right thoughts for you to succeed. So that is success. They must all align and they must all align with the truth. So remember, I told you one of the key words for philosophy is alignment. So how does ancient philosophy now apply to modern success, which is our topic? The truth can never get old. The truth is the truth yesterday, today, and forevermore. And one of the people that defined the indestructibility, the unchangingness, the finiteness, fixativeness of the truth is Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill said the truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it, ignorance may deride it, but in the end, there it is. So you can't do anything against the truth. And Jim Rohn, the father of modern philosophy and success philosophy, says the truth is old. There are no new fundamentals or no new truths. You've got to be very little suspicious of someone who says, I've got a new fundamental or truth. That's like someone inviting you to a tour, a factory where they are manufacturing antiques. Antiques are those old collectibles like this bike. Let's say this bike was produced in 1934 and is an antique. Antiques have their value from how timeless and scarce they are. You can't produce an antique because what makes it valuable is the time it was produced, and it can never be produced again. So the truth can never be produced again. They are timeless. They are the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. And the Bible puts it in perspective in Ecclesiastes 1:9 that says, there is no new thing under the sun. The thing that has been is that which shall be, and which is done is that which shall be done. So there's nothing new. And in Matthew 24:35, he said, heaven and earth will pass away, but my words, which is the truth, shall not pass away. So the truth is that there are no new truths, and that's the truth. So if somebody is trying to tell you there's something new, it's just like AI, for instance. We're in the AI age. AI only has new ability. It will still tell you the truths that have been, and it can only articulate the truths. So ancient proven philosophies are eternal truths because they've been proven over the years to be constant, unchanging, and true. So ancient truths now become the fundamentals or the foundation for lasting modern success. What does this mean? It means that for a modern success to last, It must be built on ancient philosophical foundations. And all modern successes that are fleeting and short-lived lack ancient philosophical foundation. And a story is told in the Bible in Matthew 7:24-27 of those that build on ancient philosophical truth are like those that build on a rock. And when all the storm comes, the house stands. But those that build without ancient philosophical truth are like those that build on sand. And when the flood and the storm comes, it collapses. And the Bible says, great was the fall of it. So that's why you hear some exceptional modern successful people rise as successful. And then one scandal on one thing, or one bankruptcy, one little thing, one storm, one flood, one wind, blow them away, and you'll be wondering, they come fast and they go fast. So modern success plus ancient philosophy will give you success that will stand the test of time. But modern success without ancient philosophy will give you success that will not stand the test of time. And remember, philosophy is the same thing as the mind plus truth plus action, and it's the same thing as success. So before we go into the 7 philosophical laws that if you apply today, your success will be timeless, let me give us the one universal, timeless, ancient truth. This truth, if you understand it, then you will dominate on earth. If you don't understand it, you keep suffering on earth and you find yourself a victim. And that truth is this: we become what we think about. Let me repeat. We become what we think about. Most times when I tell people you become what you study, it's not what you study that is important. It's the thoughts that what you study provoke, that you keep ruminating and repeating the thoughts that makes you become what you study. So we become what we think about. And the first book to capture it is the Bible in Proverbs 23:7. It said, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And because these philosophers didn't exist in the time of the internet, the time of the telephone or letters, there were no intertwining collaborations that you say, oh, because they are friends, they went to Harvard University together. The truth that Buddha said is the same thing that Marcus Aurelius said. Many of these sages lived in different times and space, but they all agree on the same thing, even without correspondence. And Buddha put that truth in the way that our life is shaped by our mind. We become what we think. That's Buddha. Marcus Aurelius, a great Roman sage and philosopher, said, our life is what our thoughts make it. And those intercorrelation of the Bible, Buddha, Marcus Aurelius at different times and space collaborates to form the infallible truth. The truth must have collaboration or corroboration. The truth must have witnesses. So the truth is not usually one person's truth. The truth must be universal. And that's why I said, for a rule of thumb, truths are not peculiar. They are universal. The truth in Nigeria is the truth in London, is the truth in US, is the truth in Madagascar, is the truth at Isiobomotongkom, is the truth in the Maldives. The truth is universal. And one of the places that says there must be 3 witnesses to make a truth or a word true, a principle true, and that's why science has journals so that they can correspond. But these ancient philosophers didn't have journals, and the truth still corresponded by the universal truth. So in 2 Corinthians 13:1, it said, in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every truth be established. So philosophies establish the truth because there is a correspondence of that truth across different philosophers, across different time and space. So the universal, timeless, ancient truth is one: we become what we think about. Never forget that, and never stop thinking about that, because the more you think it, the more you become it. And never think things you don't want to become, because what you have become so far is a product of your thinking. And what you are still going to become is a product of your thinking. So we're going to go into these 7 laws because most ancient philosophies have become laws. When something is repeated truth, it becomes a law. So, and there are 7 of them that are most powerful. And there are these 7 timeless ancient laws that are eternal and powerful. One is the law of reciprocity, or the golden rule. That is quite ageless and powerful. Second is the law of inner governance, or self-mastery. Third is the law of compounding, so powerful that it's called the 8th wonder of the world. The 4th is the law of alignment. The 5th is the law of purposeful direction, or the law of mission. The 6th is the law of adaptation, flow, and rest. And the 7th is the law of identity. And we're going to look into all these laws. And if you understand these laws, you will rule in these modern times. And you stand on such a solid foundation that you'll be unshakable. So the first law is the law of reciprocity, or the golden rule. The golden rule says that how you treat others becomes the social and moral soil that returns to you on how others will treat you. So treat others as you will wish to be treated. It's also called the law of sowing and reaping. And in Genesis 8:22, this law is so fundamental that as long as the earth exists, seed time and harvest will not cease. And Matthew 7:12 puts it this way: whatsoever you would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. And this is the law and the prophets. So for the Bible to say this is the conclusion of the law and all the prophets, it means this golden rule is the most golden law of the universe. And Socrates puts it this way: do not do to others that which angers you when they do it to you. So anything that someone will do to you will annoy you, don't do it to others too. Epictetus puts it this way: what you would avoid suffering yourself, seek not to impose on others. And Confucius, a great Chinese sage, puts it this way: say, do not impose on others what you yourself do not desire. So this law is the law of the golden rule, the law of reciprocity. So what you want others to reciprocate to you, be the first to do it to them. The second is the law of inner governance, or the law of mastery. This law is so important that most of lasting success begins with mastery of your mind, emotions, judgment, because inner control shapes outer external outcome. And one of the greatest person that will be with you all your life is yourself. So if you cannot master yourself, control yourself, and govern yourself, you cannot make yourself successful. And even when you make yourself successful, yourself will sabotage your success by yourself, and yourself will make yourself lose yourself success. So you must master yourself. And the Bible says in Matthew 12:34, for out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. So you must master your heart, your mind, and your mouth. So he that has no rule over his own spirit is like a city broken down without walls, in Proverbs 25:28. You must master your spirit, temper your spirit, and strengthen your spirit, and guard your spirit. And Plato puts it this way: the first and the best victory is to conquer self. To be conquered by yourself is of all things most shameful and vile. So is a war between you and you, a competition between you and you, a fight between you and you, to conquer the unexcellent you with the excellent you, to conquer the weak you with the strong you, to conquer with the unsuccessful you with the successful you. And Lao Tzu, another ancient Chinese sage, puts it this way: mastering others is strength, mastering yourself is true power. And Epictetus puts it this way: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. So the greatest strength is not in the muscles, but in mastering yourself. And the most important place to master is your mind, your spirit, and your heart. So the third is the law of compounding. This is one is so important that it's the most effective law in building wealth, and it's called the compound interest in finances. But not only money compounds, a lot of things compound, including your habit, your action, that starts with small repeated choices and practices. They compound into character and destiny. So excellence is the cumulative result of consistent, excellent acts. And the Bible puts it in Proverbs 22:29 that seest thou a man diligent in his business, he shall stand before kings, he shall not stand before mean men. What it means is that if you repeatedly do excellence, you sit with royalty. But if you repeatedly miss excellence, you sit with mean men. And Aristotle puts it this way: we are what we repeatedly do. So excellence then is not an act, but a habit. Aristotle also said, we become by doing consistently. For the things we want to learn, before we can do them, we learn them by doing them. So no doing, no learning. E.g., men become builders by building, lyre players become lyre players by playing the lyre. We become just by doing just acts, temperate by doing temperate acts, brave by doing brave acts. We become good by doing good acts. Anything we want to become, doing is becoming. And Lao Tzu, that wonderful ancient Chinese sage, said, you consistently sow a thought, you reap an action. Consistently sow an action, you reap a habit. Consistently sow a habit, you reap a character. And consistently sow a character, you reap a destiny. And Albert Einstein calls it the eighth wonder of the world, because compounding is not only powerful because it's compounding, but compounding is powerful because compounding compounds compounding. So the greatest power of habits is that they exponentially compound, such that one good habit will attract 10 other good habits through compounding, and one bad habit will attract 10 more bad habits. The fourth law, and the fourth greatest law and timeless truth, is the law of alignment. This is the law of correspondence mentalism that says there's a correspondence between your inner mental state and your outer reality. Your conscious belief and focus shapes the patterns of your experience. This is the secret of the law of attraction, or the secret of the secret by Rhoda Byrne. And it's written in the Bible in Matthew 9:29, saying, according to your faith be it done to you. So what you believe, you align your actions with, and you become. And I have a quote that puts this in perspective. A deja vu is like living a reality twice. And I say life is a mind deja vu. What you see will determine what you will see. What it means is that what you see mentally will determine what you will see physically. So if you must see it physically, you must first see it mentally. And Napoleon Hill puts it beautifully this way, that whatever the heart, which is the inner alignment of man, can conceive, the mind, and believe with the heart, it can achieve. That's the law of correspondence. And Hermes Trismegistus puts it this way: as above, so below, as within, so without, as the universe, so the soul. So the alignment of your within creates your without. The alignment of your above creates your below. The alignment of your soul creates the universe. And to show that your alignment creates the universe, the Kybalion puts it this way, that the all is mind, the universe is mental. Some people call the world the mental expression of God and the cumulative mental expression of all of us. But your own world is the mental expression of your inside world. So whatever you hold there inside and believe it with passion will inevitably happen in your outside. The fifth law of the 7 wonderful timeless laws that will make you successful and retain your success is the law of purposeful direction, or the law of vision. The law of purposeful direction, the law of vision and final cause is a clarity of purpose. The final cause aligns means and decisions, so efforts concentrate and produce meaningful results a long time. And the Bible puts it this way: it is so strong that vision itself is the soul of living. And he said, where there is no vision, the people perish, in Proverbs 29:18. So it means vision is important for our prosperity, and lack of vision is the cause of all perishing or impoverishment. And I have a quote that says, opportunity is important, but ability is more important. Speed is important, but direction is more important. Vision gives us direction so that you're not running at a high speed in the wrong direction. Seneca, one of those ancient philosophers I love. I love ancient philosophers that have a single name, that have become so unique and popular, that their names are just one. Like my name is my acechina. I'm hoping in the next 5 years when I have become popular, because you have made me popular by subscribing to this channel, turning on the notification bell and sharing. And I have a 90 days promise in this channel that if you watch my video for 90 days and your life is not transformed either in your thinking, your habit, or your finances, you can unsubscribe. So when I become so popular 5 years from now, I'm hoping the China, which is my surname, would have dropped and you just know me as my ace, just like Seneca, because I am grooming myself to be a modern philosopher. And that's why I love quotes, because I'm hoping by the time I'm done in my life, I would have done like 10,000 quotes. And if just 2 or 3 of them can become so timeless that 1,000 years from now, they are still quoting my ace, then I would have joined the league of ancient philosophers. But for now, I'm young, millennial, and modern. So I'm a modern philosopher. And Seneca puts it this way. He says, our plans miscarry because they have no aim. When a man does not know what the harbor he is making for, no wind is the right wind. If you're aiming at nothing, you achieve nothing. So for you to aim at something, you have to be specific enough to see it, aim it, and hit it. So you must see it before you can hit it. Aristotle puts it this way: excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. So if you have so many alternatives, you must have one vision, one direction, and one purpose for you to achieve your destiny. And the 6th law in the timeless laws, this is one of the laws that is most powerful, and most people miss it because of how flexible it is. I have a quote that flexibility is harder than rigidity. Most people see the law as rigid, and when they become rigid, they miss this most important law, which is the law of adaptation, flow, and rest. We live in a time where people refuse to rest, refuse to adapt, and want things done a particular way and don't have the ability to flow. One of the practices of martial art that I love that uses this law so much is Tai Chi. Tai Chi is the martial art of adaptation, flow, and rest. So the law of adaptation, flow, and rest says those that align with the rhythms and changes of life. Life is in a constant flow without effort, yet it achieves everything. They conserve energy and convert obstacles to leverage for growth. Tai Chi can turn the energy of the fighter against the fighter. So when you can adapt, flow, and rest, you can turn the energy of your obstacle into your opportunity. And Paul knew how to adapt so much in the Bible that in 1 Corinthians 9:22 he said, to the weak I became weak, to the strong I became strong. I became and made all things to all men that I might save some of them. And in Philippians 4:12 and 13 he said, I have learned how to be abased. Abased is to be with nothing. And how to be abound. Abound means to be with abundance. Everywhere and in all things I'm instructed, and I know how both to be full and how to be hungry, how to abound and how to suffer need. But he said, there is nothing he cannot adapt to by saying, I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. And this is one of the things that has led me through life, because I have a philosophy that I don't go through challenges, I grow through challenges, and nothing excites me like growth. And it is the adaptability, the flow, the rest through adversities that gives me the ability to turn them into advantage. In Genesis 2:3, the law of rest was established by God when he rested on the 7th day. And this is so important that in the ancient times, Sabbath was a commandment. You work for 6 days, you rest for 1. God did not rest on the 7th day because he needed rest. I mean, he neither sleeps nor slumber, and he's omnipotent. He has all the power in the world. He rested on the 7th day to show us the example that we need to rest. And we live in a time where exhaustion, overworking, and stress is killing a lot of people, where sleep is now being advocated as if it's a thing that people are afraid of, where rest is almost going out of fashion. So rest is so important that in the ancient philosophical times, it was a command. And if you check modern academia or the 20th century and 21st century academia, there's something called a sabbatical. Sabbatical is when you've worked for 6 years, you take 1 year to rest and think and refresh. But we live in a time where people no longer take sabbatical. You no longer hear of sabbatical. Rather, people overwork themselves and work and are being exhausted. And one of the countries living this new exhaustion for overworking is Japan. Japan is overworking so much that even their prime minister is advocating 2 or 4 hours sleep. Please, 8 hours sleep is not just a necessity, it's a command. And that sleep must be REM, deep REM. REM is rapid eye movement sleep that refreshes you, and rest is important. As a matter of fact, the last 2 years I've violated this law, and from next year, this is 2025, from 2026 I'll go back to having this law, because Mondays I take a rest. They are my days off, not just because it's my Sabbath on Monday, but because Mondays are my beach money Mondays, because I'm jobless and unemployed and I'm financially free. I can afford not to work on Mondays. Most people, when they hear Sabbath, think of a religious commandment. It is not more like a religious commandment. It's a deliberate rest for us to rest and refresh. So when it comes to flow, it's not just about rest of sleep. When it comes to flow, it's the rest of adaptation, that you can adapt to life's challenges without getting upset or stressed. And people have a proverb that says, what the little goat sees and is jumping, the mother goat has seen it and is adapting. So when you are able to build your adaptability, you don't easily get shocked or traumatized. We see a lot of trauma because people don't know how to adapt. One of the best quotes I've gotten from my business, because I'm in the business of housing and real estate, is from Sir Lord Wright, that said, the human race built most nobly when limitations were most against them. So it's because the human race has an adaptability core and a flow that it can flow and adapt through any obstacle. So when you understand this law, nothing phases you, everything flows. And Heraclitus puts it this way: he said, everything flows and nothing abides. Everything gives way and nothing gets fixed. The only person that should not adapt, rest, or flow is the person that will never die. We're all gonna die. And if you are the person that created yourself, then you should worry. You didn't create yourself. Someone created you. You found yourself in this world. Adapt, learn, grow. And Marcus Aurelius puts it this way, that the impediment to action advances action. What stands on the way becomes the way. There's a book called The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday, and this is the quote that formed the foundation of the writing of that book. When you learn how to adapt, you can turn the obstacle into the way and the adversity into the opportunity. And that's what businessmen and especially entrepreneurs are known for. Where people complain, they see money and they turn the complaint to opportunity and make money out of it. The last law is the law of identity. With all the laws we've spoken about, if you are not congruent with this law, you might not be able to rise above your goals and aims. Because the law of identity, also known as the law of consecrated identity, said you do not rise to your goals, you rise to the identity you've consciously become. Destiny obeys the shape of the person you forge within. If you know you are the mayor of housing, the things that should accrue to the mayor of housing will come to you when you identify as the mayor of housing. I'm talking about identity. Many of the violations in the 21st century are because men are violating this identity. When you're a man and you want to identify as a woman, you're a man, you want to identify as a dog, you're a man, you want to identify as things that do not correspond. Remember, one of the laws is the law of correspondence. So you are what you are, but you're meant to be true to what you are and become the best of what you are. Trying to change what you are and changing your identity might violate the law of correspondence in trying to forge identity. So your identity must be an integer. Integer means you're one in form, spirit, soul, and body. So if your form is the form of a man, you cannot be identifying as a woman because you violate the law of integrity. Integrity comes from the word integer, which means your spirit, soul, and body is oneness. So your identity has to be one with your purpose, one with your abilities, and one with your desires. And identity is so important that is what God is. He that made us is also one of us, and he is I am. When he was talking to Moses in Exodus 3:14, Moses asked him, who should I tell them is the name of the God that sent me? Say, tell them I am that I am, and tell them that I am sent me to you. And that I am is so divine and so powerful that you should be careful what you put after I am, because only things as godly and as powerful as God, because we are many gods created in the image of God. So whatever you say after I am today, you become tomorrow. And that's a principle I've seen that works. And Marcus Aurelius puts it this way, say, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. So instead of arguing what should be and what is not, just be. Don't argue what is supposed. I say a lot of crisis is created in the world because by the word supposed to. Don't be a supposed to be. Don't say what is supposed to be. Be it. And a lot of times we look for good men. We quarrel. People are not good. But I have a quote that says you make good men and women scarce by not being one. Instead of looking for good men and women, become one. Instead of arguing that there are no good men and women, become one. Instead of complaining about the lack of good men and women, become one. And these 7 laws make the timeless laws that if you obey these 7 laws and follow this principle, not only will you be an unstoppable, congruent integer, but your success would have built on a foundation that cannot be broken today or tomorrow. But if you forget the 7 laws, there's one timeless law that puts all the 7 laws together, and that is the law of cause and effect. And I'm adding that as a bonus. It summarizes the 7 laws into one law. The law of cause and effect says every outcome is the result of a prior cause. Nothing happens for nothing. A wise man once says things don't just happen. Things happen just. So there's always something causing something. Anything you see as an effect has a cause. So what you plant is a cause, an action, a thought, or intent reliably produces a correspondence fruit, which is the effect. And Galatians 6:7 says, because this law is the one universal law, is the one law that is one with God, is one law that is one with the universe. Galatians 6:7 said, you can't deceive yourself and say this law does not exist, because denying this law is trying to mock God. So that verse says, do not be deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that he shall also reap. If you sow rubbish, you must reap rubbish. If you sow virtues, you must reap virtues. If you sow profit, you reap profit. Whatever you sow, you reap. But one of the places people complain and are victims a lot is money, because we live in a financial universe. And I found out that very, very few people know that money is an effect, not a cause. When you think that money is a cause that will cause your happiness, cause your success, cause your business, that will cause anything, you'll be frustrated and miserable. But when you know that money is an effect, that if you do something, money will come. Not that money will help you do something. No. When you do something, money will come. It's an effect. You make a lot of money. Stop looking for money and start looking for those things that cost money to chase you. When I heard that success is not what you pursue by Jim Rohn, success is what you attract, and money is not what you pursue, money is what you attract, I started doing things that attracted money. And since then, I know how much money has come to me. So very few people know that money is an effect, and those of us that know it are enjoying the money. Another thing is most people don't understand this law and they are frustrated. What's the frustration? You become a victim if you think you're an effect, or you become a victor if you know you are cursed. Because when you are cursed, you become the author of your life. You can cause things to see the effect you want to see in your life. Like success is an effect. The diligence and to follow the laws and the formula for success is the cause. So most people are miserable because they don't know how to create effects in their life. Habit is an effect. Joy is an effect. A lot of things are effects. If you don't know the causes of those beautiful effects, you miss them. So I have a quote that says, we are cause. Every other thing is effect. What you see, the economy is an effect. The government is an effect. Your bank account is the greatest effect. Your joy, your family is an effect. Your love life, everything is an effect. If you learn how to cause it, you will get the right effect. And that's what they call living life intentionally. Intentionally doing the causes that will create the intended effect is intentional living. And there are no new truths, remember. But what looks like the truth to most people that is new is not because the truth is new, but because of two things: epiphanies and eurekas. Epiphanies are the unique personal insight, unique personal clarity, unique personal understanding, unique personal application of the ancient laws and philosophies. You've always known this truth, but it hits you in a new way that you shout, wow, or you shout, elele pimpi, or you shout, eureka, I now get it. And you begin to act in a way that those observing you might think is a new truth. It's not a new truth. It has been to always be. But your understanding of it is now illuminated in a new light. And that's why they also call it aha moments. These aha moments are so new that they make the truth look new, and they are so magical. They make the truth feel new and fresh. But of all these philosophies we've discussed, the greatest and the most powerful and ultimate philosophy is the blend in you. You are the blend of your style, of combining these philosophies to have your own lifestyle. Human beings are so unique that there's no fingerprint that is the same all over the world and will ever be the same before creation, throughout creation, and by the end of creation. So how you blend these laws, the golden rule, the law of correspondence, how you blend them makes your lifestyle, and you must make your style so powerful that you become the example of a powerful philosophy. That's what I'm doing on this channel. I'm producing a unique style that even most people see people like us that are billionaires in naira and millionaires in dollars, that are serious business, profit-minded people, that we don't have a funny side. But on this channel, I show you the funny side of the mayor of housing, so that I have my unique congruence in expressing these philosophies and building in a rock so solid and inspiring it to inspire you all. Because after all, the essence of everything, all the philosophies, all the laws, all the cause, all the effect, is one thing, and that is happiness. That's the essence of living. That's the essence of eternity. If we were told that there's no happiness in heaven, nobody will want to go to heaven. Why we want to go there is because we want unending happiness, and they say there will be no more tears, no more sighing, no more sorrow there. And one of the ancient philosophers, Mahatma Gandhi, puts it this way: say happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are the same. And happiness means your thoughts is the same with your words. Your words are the same with your action, and your actions are the same with the truth. Then you have happiness. So happiness you can just call alignment, and the alignment of your thoughts that are the same with your words, that are the same with your actions, but they are all the same with the truth. And the truth are ancient philosophies that are unchanging, and that will lead to something more than happiness called fulfillment. Because when your happiness is aligned with the truth, you are fulfilled. When your happiness is not aligned with the truth, you are empty. And that's why modern people go to parties, smoke, have drugs, and they are happy, and suddenly the next morning there's a thing called hangover, you're feeling miserable. That's because what you got happiness from is not the truth. If you get happiness from people, your happiness will not last. If you get happiness from stealing, if you get happiness from anything that is not the truth, your happiness will never lead to fulfillment. But if you get happiness to the truth, from the truth, you will now get something called fulfillment. And believe me, when you get happiness from truthful money, genuine money. I wish you know how happy I am as the mayor of housing, and that's why I say I'm the happiest man alive. Tony Robbins, knowing the value of fulfillment, says success without fulfillment is failure. So, and that's why African leaders are failing. They are getting success and happiness from looting, corruption, oppression, and all negative and untruthful thing. The only thing that can give you fulfillment is where your happiness comes from timeless, eternal truths. And I have a quote that says the only thing greater than achievement in this world is fulfillment. So when you have fulfillment, you are more than an achiever. And fulfillment lies far beyond average and lies only in the truth. And for business people, I have a bonus for you. You know, every businessman wants more profit. And if you can find a formula that delivers more profit and more happiness to your customers, you'll be fulfilled. So increasing profits while simultaneously increasing customer happiness is the greatest secret for success and fulfillment in business. Once you find it, your business will be fulfilling. And without fulfillment, no satisfaction on earth is permanent. And that's why you drink, you get satisfied, but the next day, the satisfaction fizzles away. You make love to the wrong person or outside marriage, you get satisfaction, the next day it fizzles away. All unlasting satisfactions lack fulfillment and lack the truth. Only truthful alignment gives fulfillment and lasting satisfaction. And one of the greatest satisfaction or pleasures of life is pleasure that comes from work. I love my work so much that people say business before pleasure. So my acechina, I say business is pleasure because I love pleasure of my business so much that I love my business. And I have no working time. I work all the time because I love what I do. So pleasure is the immediate pay for real work. Fulfillment is its ultimate pay. Any work that is devoid of these two, pleasure and fulfillment, is just labor. And if money is all your work pays you, then you are not working, you are laboring as a paid staff. The only time in life that life can allow you have less sleep than required and still be healthy is when you have pleasure and fulfillment from your work. It's so fulfilling, you might even forget about your meals, forget about sleep. But when you are getting and laboring out of sheer grit, and there's no pleasure and fulfillment, you will not only stress, you'll be stressed out and exhausted from overwork exhaustion. That's the bane of the modern scrolling era we are. So when you're seeking money, don't just seek money. There's something that embodies this fulfillment and pleasure in a financial capsule called wealth. Without peace of mind and fulfillment, it can never be wealth. It can be riches or affluence or money, but not wealth. So don't aspire to be rich. Don't aspire to be affluent. Aspire to be wealthy, where peace of mind will give you the real satisfaction of money. And why fulfillment? Only truth brings fulfillment. And the citadel of truth cannot be deceived sustainably. And that's why that incongruence happens when you do something that is not the truth. And the citadel of the truth is the heart. In your heart of hearts, only the truth can make you fulfilled, because I have a quote that says there's a space in the human heart that only genuine truth can fill. Try as you may, nothing else can suffice. Lots of money will not fill that space. Lots of girlfriends will not fill that space. Lot of boyfriends will not fill that space. Lot of sex will not fill that place. Lot of highness from drugs will not fill that place. Nothing will ever fill that space except genuine truth. So ancient philosophies are those genuine time-tested truths. Those time-tested truths are the solid rock. That solid rock is the sure foundation on which your success can be built, and every other sand is sinking sand. So let your modern success be built to last on the solid rock of ancient philosophies and timeless truths that are eternal. And if you do that, you'll not only succeed, but your success will be eternal. And there's a verse I didn't put in my slides that you need to read. And that verse says, a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. For you to be good enough to build such a solid success and foundation that it will get to your children and your children's children, it must be built on a rock strong enough to last 3 generations. So if you do that with these philosophies, you'll succeed and you get to the top. And you stay at the top because you're standing on a solid rock mountain. And I'll see you at the top as your success is built on foundation of the rock of ancient, timeless truth and philosophy. Thank you, and see you on top of your solid foundation. And there's one thing we don't even know, that knowing this excellent, timeless truth is not just knowledge, it's also holiness. To see a video that teaches you how knowledge is holiness, click on the link above and I'll see you on the other side.
Hey, Lele, Pinky is super duper amazing that you found my content valuable enough for you to watch till the end. Only 5% of exceptional people do that. You're exceptional, and I deeply love and appreciate you. Hey, Lele, Pinky! Don't just watch to learn. Watch to take action. And the first action is subscribe and hit the notification button so you don't miss any of our daily value action. Remember, only doers are winners.